UFC Freedom 250 took place the other night, so today I will be matching up all of the fighters on the card. So without wasting too much time, let's get into the first fighter. We have Steve Garcia. He unfortunately lost his fight against Diego Lopez, but I think a good bounce back performance would be against someone like an Aaron Pico. All right, both of these guys are very chinny. Both of these guys have insane power. They're both very entertaining. I would like to see this matchup. All right, in I think this one makes the most sense in the featherweight division, just based off of just the feel. I mean, like, think about it for a second. Who else would really fight Garcia? Not Zalal. I don't think Garcia deserves to fight up in the rankings after a fight like that. Uh, he's definitely not gonna fight someone like Ortega, because Ortega's probably never gonna fight again. He's not gonna fight Vallejos because they want Vallejos to fight like up against a wicked, uh, noticeable name. He's not gonna fight Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett's on a losing streak. He already fought Onama. He already fought a lot of these guys. So I think this is the perfect matchup. He's one of the only guys that I think Steve Garcia would honestly beat. Like, I don't see Garcia doing too great against the rest of featherweight, but I think this is a matchup that he could win. I think it's like a 60-40 fight for Garcia in this one. And then for Pico, this makes a lot of sense. He just got his first ranked win in the UFC. His only loss is to number 3, Lauren Murphy. I think this is a good guy up the rankings to fight. That wouldn't be matching up Pico versus Vallejos, which, I mean, I think in the past I've sort of wanted that, but now I want Vallejos to fight someone high in the rankings, like a Zalal, like Murphy, like uh, Yair Rodriguez, those types of fighters. So lower ranking matchup for Garcia, good, like, very technical striking matchup. I mean, that first round, Garcia won that first round with the more technical striking of the two of them. He's very accurate. He does a very good job of crashing in with body shots. And Pico, when he is on, all right? He's really good. So, yeah, great matchup. And moving on to the winner of the Garcia versus Lopez fight, Diego Lopez versus Yair Rodriguez. I've been calling for it for years, dude. Not years. Well, a little bit of hyperbole there. But I've been calling for the Lopez to fight Rodriguez. In the past, I've also matched up Vallejos with Rodriguez just because of timeline, stuff like that. But Diego Lopez needs to kill Yair Rodriguez. That wasn't hyperbole. He needs to kill Yair Rodriguez. All right, I'm sick of this guy. It's like beating a dead horse, dude. Cool on. This guy just rats at the top of featherweight, dude, and fights nobody. He has to fight Pitbull, bro. All right, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Pitbull was like on a losing streak or had lost recently in Bellator before he came over to the UFC, and they decided to give him to Yair instead of having Yair fight Diego Lopez when they already have beef. All right? This clown Yair was sitting out trying to get a title shot against Volk in Guadalajara, Mexico. All right? They were going to build an arena for this fraud. I need to see Lopez knock this guy out because he would knock him out. The way he moved against Garcia in the first round, I mean, we could see some success from Rodriguez, but if he turns it on, like he did against Silva, like he did against Garcia in the second, where he just moves forward, doesn't move his head, throws crazy hooks, he's going to take this little Chihuahua's head off, all right? He's going to knock him into next Tuesday, dude. It's going to be a ridiculous performance from Lopez. I need to see it. Cool on. It would be a great matchup. So, the next match to make it featherweight. Moving on to Kyle Dawkins. I mean, I got my prediction wrong. I thought this guy was going to really just show Bo Nickel that he didn't belong in there. And I was wrong. He got dumped. He got knocked out. And I think that's the perfect opponent for someone like Susarkaev if you're trying to build him up correctly. Dawkins is 4-5 in the UFC. His previous run, he lost to people like Eric Anders and Roman Dolidze. I think I just put too much stock in him, and I think he kind of belongs in the unranked section of middleweight. I definitely believed in him too much. But he has wins over Gerald Meerschaert and Michel Pereira, both better than like average UFC fighters, like the people that Suzurkaev is beating. So this would be a good step up in competition for Suzurkaev. I think it could lead to a highlight KO for Suzurkaev, or it could be a fraud check. I mean, Suzurkaev has lost rounds to Makanico and Jordan Santos, and that Eric Nolan fight wasn't particularly impressive. I mean, he got rocked. So I think this could definitely lead to either a fraud check or a step up, a defining moment for Suzurkaev. So good matchup. There's not really much to say besides probably a KO for one of the two of them. Moving on to the winner of the matchup, we had Bo Nickel. Really surprised me. I didn't think this guy had hands. I'm not going to lie. His kicking game is nice. He's really improved in that front. His wrestling has always been very good. But I didn't think he was going to be able to pull it off, but he did. So I think he definitely deserves another crack at the top 15. I think Aliskerov is probably the matchup for him. All right, Aliskerov is number 15 at the time. He probably won't be ranked by the time these guys fight. But I think this is the matchup to make. Aliskerov has only lost to Robert Whittaker in the UFC. I don't see Nickel really, getting the opportunity to fight anybody else in the ranking at middleweight right now. I mean, well, that's a little hyperbolic. Let's just say the UFC wouldn't be too opposed to that idea. But I also don't see him beating a lot of these guys until he gets a lot more good comp below his belt. Because we've got Cannonier, I think, beats him. Rodriguez shatters Bo Nickel's face. Adesanya, I don't know, man. That's a pretty close fight. Adesanya styles on him on the feet, though. And then anyone above that just completely outclasses Nickel. And, the low, ish rankings in the top 15, I don't know. I don't really see anyone that is a good matchup for Nickel besides Aliskerov. So this is the matchup that needs to happen. Both of these guys apparently have heavy hands. Looks like Nickel has heavy hands now. Aliskerov definitely has KO power. They've both got a good wrestling background, so I'd like to see the scrambles, the takedowns in that fight. I think it would afford to possibly a Bo Nickel ranking. Is second time being ranked? Maybe. I'm not positive. But moving on to Mauricio Hufi. In my predictions video, I said when Hufi wins this fight, he should fight Max Holloway after Holloway fights McGregor. And that's still the best course of action for the lightweight division. I mean, the lightweight division is in shambles right now. There is a literal black hole at the top. It is so up for grabs. I don't even understand what happened, but we'll get to that later. But I think this is the matchup that makes sense. I mean, Holloway lost dominantly to Oliveira in his last fight. So after let's be honest, it's probably going to be like an exhibition match against McGregor. I don't think it's really going to have anything to do with the lightweight rankings, if I'm being 100% honest. So this matchup is probably the bounce back Holloway needs if he wants another title fight. Wow, that would be a lot of title fights for Holloway, wouldn't it? But yeah, this is the bounce back that he needs against a lower ranked guy, but still a very relevant one in the lightweight division. I mean, Hoofy's very popular. I think he's definitely better than a few of the fighters at lightweight, higher in the rankings. This is going to sound absolutely ridiculous based off what we just saw. But I think Hoofy would beat Justin Gaethje. All right. That's a completely different topic. But yeah, Hoofy is definitely better than some of the guys ranked above him. All right. And this would be a sick striking matchup, like I said in my prediction video. I mean, the way Hoofy mixes it up, the way he keeps his hands down and defends wicked well, and his creativity is unmatched. And then Max Holloway, I don't need to make a case for Max Holloway striking. You know who he is. You know what he's done. All right, and it would be a sick, sick matchup. But moving on, we have Josh Hokett. He got the W over Derek Lewis. I think he should fight Waldo Cortez Acosta next. I don't want the Pereira matchup, all right? I don't want him fighting Volkov. I want Volkov to wait for a title shot. I don't want him fighting, yeah. There's no one above him that I want him to fight. I think Acosta might be ranked above him. So besides Acosta, these guys have beef. I've said it multiple times. I said after 327 that Hokett should be fighting Cortez Acosta. He got the Lewis fight instead for reasons that were totally unbiased. All right, but it's a good matchup at heavyweight. I think Cortez Acosta would get this one done as well. I think he's the better striker of the two of them. Hokett is not a good striker. All right, that needs to be said. Hokett is not a good striker. If you've seen his last two performances and you think he does good in the stand-up against the higher upper echelon of the heavyweight division, you're wrong, dude. Pereira, Volkov, Gane, Aspinall, Acosta, all of these guys, Kuniev, would do bad things to Hokett on the feet, all right? But then, of course, there's the ground game, all right? And I could see Hokett winning this one with his wrestling. I think that's the game plan Hokett needs to implement going forward in his career. His grappling is sick, dude. His athleticism will carry him far if he chooses to use it. But if he tries to go into these wars where he's throwing this 1-2, where he literally almost tears his fucking ACL in half when he takes a step forward and throws the 1-2. It's the most awkward thing I've ever seen. But it affords him a lot of success against these fat old men. So let's see this fight. It's probably going to be a Cortez Acosta KO, but, we could see Hokett improve or implement his grappling more. Moving on to Ayman Zahabi. Ariel Helwani got his ass kicked by Sean O'Malley in that second round. He just got right down the pipe, ate two beautiful right hands from O'Malley. So I think what better matchup to do than a younger Sean O'Malley? Peyton Talbot, this guy is a freak. We lost a lot of faith in this guy when he lost to Raoni Barcelos. But, in the recent history of the UFC, we've seen Raoni Barcelos is actually a very good fighter, all right? And that's not really a loss that can be held against Peyton Talbot too much. And then, of course, he beat Henry Cejudo. He grappled him. He out-grappled Henry Cejudo. So I would love to see this fight. I think Ayman Zahabi's on his way out of the UFC. I'm not going to lie. He's 38. He's had a lot of tough fights where he gets rocked a lot of the time. He takes a lot of damage in his fights. And this would definitely be a good fight for Peyton Talbot to break into the top 6 to 5 range in the bantamweight division, because we've got a lot of fighters in that very top of the bantamweight division that are going to be out of here in a few years. Merab and Petr Yan are going to retire soon. Ayman Zahabi's going to retire soon. Sanhagen might not look like it, but he's pretty old, man. A lot of these guys are mid-30s. Merab is on the other side of 35, I'm pretty sure. So the bantamweight division is going to open up soon, and this is a great way to establish Talbot in that surging bantamweight division. But let's move on to the winner. We had Sean O'Malley. He called for a title shot. If he gets a title shot, we are literally seeing the effects Israel has on the UFC. I'm not even fucking kidding, dude. Look at that record. He lost to Merab twice, and he wants to jump Merab in line for the title shot. I don't care if you beat Ayman Zahabi, dude. I do not care. I do not care if you beat Ayman Zahabi. Ayman Zahabi would lose to Mario Batista. Already lost to Chito Vera. Already lost to Jose Aldo. Would lose to Talbot. Would lose to David Martinez. Would lose to Ethan Ewing. Would lose to any single person above him as well. All right? Ayman Zahabi did not deserve to be ranked that high. Okay? Did not deserve to be ranked that high. It's a good win from O'Malley. It's what you should do against a guy like Ayman Zahabi. Just completely outclass him everywhere. But if O'Malley wants a title shot, he needs to put together a win streak that has legit top level competition. Because although Song Yadong is a great win, Song Yadong is never going to be UFC champion. Umar Nurmagomedov, on the other hand, could have been UFC champion. He was one round away from beating Merab Dvalishvili. Okay? He has 2 wins in a row right now. He's probably going to beat David Martinez in his next fight. So I think after he wins that, he fights O'Malley for a title eliminator. Probably it's going to be in very close proximity to the Merab and Yan fight. So that would line up perfectly. And that would allow O'Malley to either get back in title contention, or it would allow Umar Nurmagomedov to get back in title contention. Because right now, both of these guys do not deserve another title shot over Merab. But this would make them worthy. So this is definitely the matchup to make it bantamweight. I mean, I don't know what goes through these guys' heads. I understand they're fighters. I understand they're trying to do what's best for themselves. But do you not honestly think that Merab deserves a title shot over you? He kicked your ass twice. And then he kicked Umar's ass. And then he kicked Corey's ass. All right? And then he had a fight of the year with Petr Yan. Okay? That is the fight that needs to happen next. And this is the fight that needs to happen next. Moving on to the co-main event. Fortunately, Alex Pereira got KO'd in the second round at heavyweight. I just think he didn't look right. I don't think he looks good at heavyweight. I think it's too much weight. I think at some point you need to look at yourself and go, am I in the best shape possible to win a fight? No, he was not. He was not in the best shape possible. He came in 250. He normally walks around at 220. He should have been 225, 230 for that fight. He should have been a slim down athletic heavyweight, but he wasn't. He bulked up too much. He was slower than Gane. He wasn't able to be defensive enough, I guess. So I think moving back down to light heavyweight, reclaiming his belt and then retiring is the move for Pereira. Okay, I think this is the matchup that makes the most sense. Pereira's already ran through light heavyweight. He's already made that division his bitch. The only guy he hasn't beat at the top is Olberg, so stake your claim, kick this guy's ass, and ride off into the sunset as one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time. All right? It needs to happen next. And for Olberg, he's probably going to be out for another year at this point. Pereira's probably going to be around the same time frame based off of this loss. So timeline matches up. It would be a great legacy win for Carlos Olberg, regardless of the people but he's cutting back down from heavyweight. He's an old man now. Shut the fuck up, dude. No one cares. It would be a good win for Olberg, and if Pereira wins, it would solidify his legacy at light heavyweight as he would be better than DC all time at light heavyweight. I'm not saying all time. I'm saying at light heavyweight he would be better than DC. And it would make him the second best light heavyweight of all time. So that's definitely a matchup that needs to happen. Moving on to the winner, we had terrorist of the sport, cheater extraordinaire, and worst of all French, Cyril Gane. And he gets the next title shot, I guess. Nobody's really excited about it because this fucking piece of shit decided to cheat again. Let's look at what happened in his last few fights. Pereira, back of the head shots. Cheats for the win. Aspinall, eye pokes, no contest. Volkov, he doesn't cheat. Actually, I'm pretty sure he did cheat, but he didn't cheat as egregiously, and guess what happened? He lost. Spivak, back of the headshots. Jones, kicked him in the dick and then gets choked out. Aspinall still beats Gane, dude. I don't know, the switch up is ridiculous. Just because Gane beat Pereira at heavyweight does not mean that he beats Aspinall. Aspinall still kicks Gane's ass, okay? It's only a matter of time till Aspinall finds that chin, and when he does, he's got some of the most power heavyweights ever seen. He's going to kill Gane, and it's the rematch we need. Every time Aspinall's had a rematch, he's won that shit. His only real rematch is the Blades fight, but the first Blades fight was an injury. Whatever. If he gets in there with Gon again, he's going to have that rivalry. He's going to have that like anger in his heart that he needs, and he's going to go out there and he's gonna fucking slaughter Cyril Gon. I need it to happen. Pereira couldn't pull it off. It was a sad, sad day. But to avenge him, we need Tom Aspinall to kill Gon. Okay, it's the only match that matters at heavyweight right now. But moving on to the biggest upset in UFC history. It still hasn't fully registered in my brain what really happened there. I'm like not I don't understand. I'm going to need to rewatch that fight more. I've already rewatched it, but I'm going to need to rewatch it again to just kind of understand what happened. I mean, he came out there early with that same uh like style that he did against Max Holloway, where he was leaning back, he wasn't really allowing Gaethje to get anything off, but then he just started to eat the jabs. Like he didn't think the jabs were gonna do anything, all right? And he started to do good when he started to move his head and he started to pressure heavy. And then the second round he was doing good. And then he dropped him with the body shot and dominated him on the ground. And then the third round, dude, he just got sloppy and he did not move his head at all. I think give him a little bit. Arman Tsarukyan never fights ever, so probably would match up time wise. I understand if you want to give Tsarukyan the title, but you're wrong. Okay, Arman Tsarukyan versus Topuria is the fight that should have happened on the Whitehouse. Justin Gaethje should not have been in that fight. He won, all right? All power to him, but he should not have been in that fight just based off of the caliber of opponents that he had beaten in his past few fights. Arman Tsarukyan versus Topuria is still the matchup we all need. Whoever wins this would then become the number one contender for the lightweight championship. They would most likely beat whoever the lightweight champion is. You'll see who I have fighting for that one next. But they would probably beat the person and become lightweight champion. And then that would align them perfectly for an Islam Makhachev fight, and all would be corrected in the sport and in the lightweight division. Oh, it's going to take a lot of maneuvering to fix this lightweight division. Because right now, Gaethje is champ. I'm going to be 100% honest. It's bad for the sport. Gaethje's champ is bad for the sport. Because he's not the best fighter. He is not the best fighter. Listen, this is going to sound like cope. This is going to sound like you're just bitching and moaning. But Topuria is a better fighter than Justin Gaethje. Like, no questions asked. Like, literally, Topuria is the best lightweight in the world. It's just he lost. But this is just, it sounds like bitching and moaning. I don't want to talk about it anymore. But Topuria is better than Gaethje. Tsarukyan is better than Gaethje. Oliveira is better than Gaethje. Holloway is better than Gaethje. All right, all these guys are better than Justin Gaethje. So it's a rough spot for lightweight. Just because I don't really know what matchups to make next. Because Arman Tsarukyan would kill Justin Gaethje, by the way. Like, he's not going to entertain the striking. He's not going to try to force a KO like Topuria did. Arman Tsarukyan will take the path of least resistance and probably submit Justin Gaethje. But I would like to see a more competitive fight for Arman. I would like to see a more competitive fight for Topuria. And the winner of that would face the winner of the next title fight at lightweight, which would be Justin Gaethje versus Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira is on a 2-fight win streak. He just beat Max Holloway, who some people thought should have been like in title talks instead of fighting Oliveira. So what would be wrong with this? This would be a title rematch. Whoever wins this fight would end up fighting the winner of Arman versus Ilya in a very big fight. I think you'd potentially put these guys on the same exact card as each other. All right. It just makes more sense to me than sacrificing Gaethje to Tsarukyan when you have the opportunity to make more money fights. Charles Oliveira and Justin Gaethje are two of the biggest stars at lightweight. Ilya is a wicked big star at lightweight. Arman Tsarukyan is not the caliber of those guys. No matter what the social media clips lead you to believe, these guys are all bigger personalities in the sport of MMA. So I think popularity-wise, it would be better. I think stylistically, this is a better matchup for Gaethje. I think this gives him an opportunity to win. All right, I don't think he has. Well, all right. After that last fight, who knows? He does have a chance against Saryukin, but he has a better chance against Oliveira. And for Oliveira, it's one last opportunity to get the W, get the title, and then he'd probably stick around to fight again. I mean, both of these guys look like they're gonna stick around. They don't want to stop fighting. So who knows, man? If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I will see you next time.